Wow, that was a great introduction. I wish I could live up to some of it. Once again, I am James Edge. I'm the Deputy District Director for Congressman Flores. He wishes he could be here tonight. He's actually en route as we speak. His plane should land at Easterwood sometime probably around 9:40 tonight, so he won't be here. On a personal level, before I get started, I wanted to just mention I've known Jason for a very long time. I met Jason, I guess, at St. Joseph's Elementary School about 40 years ago, and I've known Jason through elementary school, through church, then as realtors, through the city council, and now as mayor. And on a personal level, I just want to say that I'm very proud to lend my support to Jason, and will do anything I can to help you get reelected. So, I'm going to go into a very, very brief congressional update. I apologize, like I say, I'm a poor substitute for Congressman Flores. But before I do that, I wanted to recognize Congressman Flores' wife, Gina, was able to join us. She came in here a little bit late, but Gina's with us tonight. You all that pay attention probably recognize that there's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. Much of it is very ugly and frustrating, but thankfully we have good people in D.C. like Congressman Flores that are willing to make the sacrifice and work and bang their head against the wall and try to get something done. I won't get into a lot of detail about what they've done in the past months or years. Obviously, we're not making much progress as it relates to budgetary issues and such. Thankfully, we've got a situation in D.C. where the House of Representatives has got enough reasonable and responsible people that they're in a position to act as a firewall against anything coming down from the White House or from the Senate. So at the very least, there's not as much bad stuff happening that would otherwise be things we'd have to deal with, like Obamacare and cap and trade and such. Most recently, some of the issues that have come up before Congress last week and this week, they have voted for the reaffirmation of the Keystone Pipeline, which the Congress has just voted again to approve the construction of the Keystone Pipeline. We will see. We believe there's a possibility now, with political winds changing slightly, that the president might be in a position where he might sign on to that legislation. This week they have passed two different appropriations bills, both the MILCON, the Military Construction and VA bill, which allows for infrastructure development and for the appropriations for military readiness, and as well as funding the VA. Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security has also been reauthorized, or the appropriations have been reauthorized. That's taken place this week. Today, actually, they passed the National Defense Authorization Act, or the NDAA. Some folks here might be familiar with that. That is the authorization for the defense for another year. This is not the appropriations. Contrary to some folks' beliefs, the NDAA does not allow for the indefinite detainment or detention of American citizens without a warrant. So I wanted to get that across, just in case any of you might have heard that. We've got a few things coming up this next week, a couple of them that are the big ticket items. There is a bill, H.R. 1797, which is the Pain Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, which basically is an act that would bar post-20-week abortions, because medical science has determined that fetuses or babies feel pain at the 20-week period. So this bill, should it pass, should it become law, would bar abortions after the 20-week period. H.R. 1947 basically is the renewed farm bill. We haven't had a number of these bills these acts have been funded through continuing resolutions for some time. It's been a while since we just recently got a long-term transportation bill, and we're negotiating on a 5-year or long-term farm bill. We will vote on that this coming week. A lot of people don't realize that the largest expenditure in the entire United States Department of Agriculture is food stamps. And we've reached a point where we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 million Americans currently on food stamps, and we frankly have to get a hold of that, and that's one of the things that this bill addresses. It tries to rein in some of the waste and abuse in the food stamp program, as well as in other ag-related programs. Going forward, we're going to have a Department of Defense appropriation authorization and an ag appropriation come up soon. There will be a student loan bill in the House that will be very different than the President's student loan bill. It will attempt to to bring the concept of student loans back into the private sector again. As you know, it was essentially nationalized in the last 4 years, and as a result, those of you who follow this, the student loan process has gotten very difficult. There also should be some additional energy legislation probably that will be taken up here in the coming weeks and months. So there's a lot going on. I wish I could go into everything. It's all fairly boring, so I'm not going to bore you all any longer. But I wanted to end tonight with a personal note from Bill. Like I say, Congressman Flores was unable to attend. He wishes he could be here, not just to be here to visit with you all, but he also wanted to affirm his support for Jason and his wishes that Jason is successful in his efforts at another 3-year term in re-election. Bill has expressed that he believes Jason has done a remarkable job. The Congressman Flores, he lives in Bryan. He's very familiar with the situation we're in now and the situation we used to be in. Bryan has experienced unprecedented growth under the leadership of Mayor Bienski, as well as unprecedented cooperation with its sister city and with the county, and we certainly shouldn't turn back now. So I know Congressman Flores, like I say, wishes he could be here, and he wants to extend his good wishes and his hopes that you are successful in your re-election. All right, thank you all very much.